Yo, what's the deal? It's your boy Norbs, and this is the 10-8 podcast. We are going to be having shows on a weekly podcast style. I'm going to do a weekly one, but I'm also going to be doing updates like this on the daily or whenever there's information that cracks. I'm definitely going to speak about. But today's topic, like most topics that have been going on in boxing, have been surrounded by Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's drama, right? So yesterday, of all times, it's about it was about like midnight East Coast time, and I'm on my Instagram and I see a post from Oscar De La Hoya. Who Oscar De La Hoya has always been, or he's actually been very entertaining recently, and he's the one that takes his shots. From Rolly Romero, rubbing it in his loss to continually to answer back and even be disrespectful to Canelo Alvarez, not caring much for backlash or whatnot. He's been very, very outspoken, right? And you know, uh, surprisingly, as an owner of the company, has been very outspoken. So last night, um, actually yesterday, I did a blog about Devin Haney's career possibly being over. And what I mean by that is him revamping it, him being able to bounce back from everything that's transpired. And it almost seems like mentally that he's not able to uh, focus on the task at hand. And it seems as if he cannot move past what transpired April 20th of 2024, which was a big loss, a beating that he took, and it came out that Ryan was suspended or whatnot. And a lot of people are, and it's kind of crazy. A lot of people are siding with Ryan Garcia, saying, "Oh, it was an eighth of a gram and this and that." And I'm like, dude, like I don't. And this is the thing about the eighth of the gram that I don't understand. Regardless of the amount that was taken, it was still taken. It's a banned substance. That's what was actually found. If people understand when people do cycles, they do it at a rate to where it's not supposed to detect. The reason it was detected because it got caught in his fatty cells. So nobody does a little bit of roids, a little bit of PEDs in order to uh and they're doing it for a purpose. And that purpose is whatever it is, right? So whether you like Ryan Garcia or you don't, he tested positive for a banned substance. Now, that's the facts. Should he be suspended? Absolutely. Did he try to put it on other people? Absolutely. Try to say it was tainted by Victor Conti. Even said he took supplements that were tainted. He's done a good job of playing the internet where a lot of people believe in a lot of these conspiracies. Devin Haney's camp, they're tied to Victor Conti. This is what transpired. Like, let's be honest. Before the fight, nobody believed that Devin Haney was going to that Ryan Garcia was going to win this fight. Nobody. So there was no worry. Even Devin Haney was overconfident in the situation. Didn't believe it was going to transpire. That didn't happen. A conspiracy. What actually happened was Ryan popped PEDs in his camp. Didn't think he was going to get caught. It came out in the rinse, or whatever you want to call it, and it happened. Moving forward, the entire situation is crazy. I mean, it took 2 months. 2 months. Think about this: 2 months for them to deliberate and come up with a suspension, which is crazy. The results came in, I think, on in May of some time, and it still took another month for it to go through. Right. So if you really break it down, and this is just my opinion, I don't believe the New York State Athletic Commission wanted to suspend him simply because of the value he brings monetary wise to the sport. Ryan Garcia is a draw. He understands that people understand he sells. There's not a lot of people that sell in boxing. There's not a lot of things that can attach themselves to, or organizations can attach themselves to certain fighters to do whatever. PD doesn't give you skills. Absolutely. So I understand PDs doesn't give you skills, but it does enhance certain reflexes and makes you stronger. It is what it is. Regardless of the situation, Paul Masters, and I love your comment, PDs are banned for a reason. Barry Bonds, he was on roids. Did he ever hit another 70 home runs after that once he got popped? No. Guys, it's not as simple as, listen, I believe he would have probably lost anyway, but the fact of the matter is Ryan did take it, right? That's besides the point. Like, the fact that he took a banned substance, he should be banned. That's completely up. Now, whatever amount of time, it is what it is. Now, to me, and this is just me, I feel like when it comes to the suspension, and this is where I agree with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya dropped the video. He said Canelo popped for whatever the hell it was. He got 6 months. That's true. But Canelo also allowed them to, I think he did like follicle tests. And when the follicle test came back, it was consistent as to what happened with him. I'm going to play the video for you guys so you guys can actually see it. Gary Brown's hand-eye coordination. Paul Masters, if you really do your research on steroids, it actually adds to everything, your reflexes and things of that nature. These are facts. These are not things I'm making up. Regardless of the fact, if that's the case, to answer this question, Paul, why did Ryan take the banned substance? If that's the case, let everybody take the banned substances. It clearly was for an advantage. You don't take things just to take them because it tastes good. It's just, that's not how life works. So it's actually not even about that. So anyway, I did a blog yesterday, a live actually, and I was basically breaking down Devin's mental state. He's doing a lot of these interviews, and it just seems as if he's just completely not over. And again, you're not going to be over the situation, and he's kind of changed up his tune. He says he'll fight Ryan, whatever. I don't believe he even believes he could beat Ryan at this point. And he's not moving forward. He said, I think one of the quotes was, he's going to take everything from him. He's going to take it in the court, and then he's going to beat his ass in the ring. Listen, he's came out, Devin Haney, and said that it has hurt him, his brand, what people are offering him for fights. I had my man Troy on last night who was like, he never had a brand. That's bull. That's BS. If we really break it down, prior to the Ryan Garcia fight, okay, people were looking at Devin as the next one. Nobody's going to beat Devin. Nobody even gave Ryan Garcia a chance in hell to win that fight. Even Eddie Hearn had some type of an agreement with him where they were pushing him as the future of boxing. Oh, he's just this and that. Right? Now he takes a beating from Ryan Garcia, and the conversations have changed. Now they're not talking about big fights. They're not talking about him fighting possibly Bud Crawford or unifying. He can't even get people to bid for the fight right now. So he is now turning and saying, hey, because of Ryan Garcia's actions, because of what transpired in the ring, because he took PEDs, he beat me in a fashion where now my value is down. That is actually undeniable. If you want to deny that, it's absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? Diarrhea of pancake, please. I'm good, man. Diarrhea of pancake, God, I'm definitely good. But it definitely hurt his brand badly. It truly hurt his brand, and he's trying to get compensated for the amount of money that he believes he's going to lose in the future. Now, if they can prove that, they can prove it. But what I did find interesting was this video last night that my man. Let me see if I could fix something real quick because it looks kind of crazy. Like Oscar looks a little crazy, so let me fix Oscar up. Let me see. It doesn't look like it's gonna fix up. The video looks a little wide to me, but as long as you guys can see it, I don't care. But anyways, whatever. Let me fix it for you right now. So I'm gonna play this video. Oscar De La Hoya came out, and let me put on my headphones so I can actually listen to everything he said real quick. Let me play it.
That is not right. Let's talk about Devin Haney now. All right, guys, everybody talked about Ryan Garcia. Now it's Papi's turn. So, first of all, I don't condone PEDs whatsoever, period. But let's talk about the inconsistencies, the penalties, the millions of dollars. I do not understand it. We should have a commission, okay, that oversees everything, every state, because Canelo Alvarez gets popped. All right, guys, everybody talked about Ryan Garcia. Now it's Papi's turn. So, first of all, I don't condone PEDs whatsoever, period. But let's talk about the inconsistencies, the penalties, the millions of dollars. I do not understand it. We should have a commission, okay, that oversees everything, every state, because Canelo Alvarez gets popped in a different state, gets 6 months. Shane Mosley gets popped and gets 0. So you're telling me that Ryan Garcia gets a year and millions of dollars? That is not right. Let's talk about Devin Haney now. Devin Haney, you're pathetic. You're dancing around in the bowling alley because you got your decision reversed? Nobody's gonna forget about that beating you took. Oh, and let's not forget, you're accusing me of not paying you? Bro, you just do not sell. That's the bottom line. You can audit my company anytime you want. I pay every fighter, and I'm pretty sure you got that from Canelo, when he started. So bro, that 1 year layoff, that retirement, just enjoy it. Fuck you.
Now, Oscar De La Hoya has been very outspoken, especially with the recent allegations that Canelo Alvarez spoke upon in regards to Oscar doing bad business. They've been taking shots at each other. Canelo doesn't like Oscar. Oscar doesn't like Canelo. It's been a whole drama. So let's take that out. That has no thing in this conversation. What he did say that I found interesting was the beginning of that thing when he talked about it not being fair, and there should be a commission to oversee everyone instead of just one. That is absolutely great what Oscar said. I got to give him this. That's absolutely true. Okay. Now, Oscar doesn't actually even deny that Ryan Garcia was on PEDs, which to me is crazy. He says, I don't condone it, whatever. He's accepting that Ryan was there. So that's a key factor in this situation, okay? He brings up Shane Mosley and the Balco situation where he gets 0 penalty. Now, again, I don't know if he popped. I know he came up in a report, okay? He came up in a report for Balco and being treated by Victor Conti and possibly being on there. Canelo did a computer roll. He tested positive computer roll. He got 6 months, whatever. Okay. But he did forget to mention Amir Khan got 2 years for the same substance that Ryan Garcia had taken. He got 2 years. These are facts. I'm not making this stuff up. Now, what I do agree with him is there should be a commission that oversees all of this in order to make a decision. Right, especially with what's transpiring in boxing today, with the amount of deaths that we see people dying in boxing. We just seen a bunch of this stuff. We're talking about like this is happening frequently. I mean, boxers don't box that much. Imagine if boxers box more on a consistent basis, how many more deaths we would have. So to me, I don't believe, and what I do agree with Oscar is there should be a situation where it should be a commission that oversees everything and makes these decisions. The fact, and this is what he also forgot, the fact that Ryan Garcia was able to negotiate his suspension is absolutely ludicrous to me. Absolutely ludicrous. And that's something that he did not bring up, which is crazy. The commission should be able to basically state what they have to state, okay? Suspend them or whatever. And if they want to appeal it, let them appeal it. But the fact that they're able to negotiate the situation is absolutely absurd. Now, he said they find the money. I agree with that. You should find these guys. There has to be some type of a fear factor in the situation. Don't agree with Oscar in that situation. The biggest fear is being suspended and losing money in these situations. The fact that he did lose money, I believe there should be a penalty. I just don't believe where that money is going is to the right place. I think it was more of to me, it felt like a buy-off, a payoff, so he's able to negotiate the situation. Now, the length of his suspension, I think, was not fair in the opposite way Oscar's saying it. He's saying, oh, whatever. Listen, let's be real. Ryan usually fights once a year. Most of these guys fight at that level. I don't believe it was a valid suspension. I think he should have been suspended more than that because of the fact that he popped. That's me. I think it should be a 2-year ban on in the situation if you do test positive. That's what I believe. Okay. Now, If you agree with it 1 year, if you disagree, whatever. Now, um, I lost my train of thought. I think you should definitely be suspended for 2 years. Okay. Now, you know, his issue with him being suspended and the money. No, I mean Ryan tested positive. Oscar knows how dangerous the sport is. He was a great professional for how many years? He's probably seen it all in boxing. So I definitely agree that there should be a commission to oversee everything. I do believe that Ryan got a slap on the wrist in regards to his suspension. Now, another thing that he failed to mention was Ryan's behavior. I believe that. So I think Brian would have not gotten suspended severely or even got fined if it wasn't advertised as much as he did. But also, Devin Haney's camp made it a campaign to overturn that. That's when we get to Devin Haney in this situation. Devin Haney, he calls Devin Haney, tells me, "Yo, you claim that I didn't get paid. You just don't sell. You can order my company." That is a fact. Devin Haney's prior sales to this, I think it was 50,000 when he fought Regis Prograis in a pay-per-view. He was a growing brand. So Devin calls him out on the sales aspect of the situation. Yes, Devin Haney does not sell like that, which leads to my next point in Devin Haney's lawsuit. He relies on the bonus and the upfront money from these promoters to try to get him into one of these big fights. And then, the pay-per-view is something that he's trying to build. So that's what led into the lawsuit. So I found a lot of the things that Oscar said very interesting in regards to, just him being vocal about the situation. But the key thing is on here. He doesn't deny the PEDs. You know what I'm saying? He also didn't mention the fact that he got paid off of the fines, which is kind of weird to me. How does Golden Boy get paid in this situation? That's what it stated on the thing. So I was kind of confused about him complaining about the money being fined when some of that money went to apparently Golden Boy, which maybe I'm confused about the situation, but that's what was said. Now, listen, I think it's a great idea to have a commission to oversee everything. I think it makes 100% sense, and it kind of takes me to. I always forget this guy's. I always forget how to say this guy's name. No disrespect, Turkai Ali, whatever his name is. In terms of creating a league, a global league for everyone, I don't believe that'll ever work. That's just the facts. I don't believe that'll ever work, simply because it's just is. You would have to buy everyone out. There's a lot of companies, and then recruiting the talent and getting everybody to. It's a very big process in that situation. But for the immediate future, I do believe that maybe Turkish Ali should help with this commission idea that Oscar De La Hoya had mentioned to oversee everything, because we're not getting the fights we want to see, because you can't. Paul Masters, you hit it on the head. It's hard to monopolize it when there's so many different entities. It would have to be similar to the NFL, where the owners have a say in this situation. I think it's a possibility, but we're years away from it. But I will say this, in regards to a commission, I do believe that there should be some of the top people in the boxing world putting together a commission to where they oversee and make judgments based on these things. And that should include bad decisions from judges that have done multiple bad decisions, outlandish scores where it's a 118 to 111 or whatever the hell it is, and then the other judge has it 114, 114. Listen, there's going to be numbers off. But when you have those type of numbers off, this has to be, it's just too crazy to me. So I definitely do believe there should be a commission to oversee these situations, whether it's stripping the belts, whether it's forcing a mandatory, whether it's holding the judges accountable. I don't feel like the judges are being held accountable. Holding the boxers accountable, because the boxers are not being held accountable for these PDs. People are going to continue to pop. And this is the crazy thing. There's more people that pop PEDs that don't get popped in the test, will get caught in the test, than we actually know. Because if you understand how to do these things, right? If you understand how to actually do a cycle, you won't get caught. So I do believe that there has to be an organization that helps put these things together, because it definitely was an awkward situation in the Ryan Garcia situation. And I think a lot of what people are turned off of today is the corruption in boxing. And I think with a commission that is made up of our peers that we've been watching for years, maybe we could get some of that stuff out of there, because these guys have been there. Somebody has to police this situation. There's too many bad decisions. There's uh, too many things going on in boxing that just don't make sense. And I think people are getting turned off about that. You know what I mean? Um, Paul Mass says Andre Wood wants to unionize boxing. Absolutely. It could be similar to like the actors union in a sense, because there's scales to certain boxers. Not everybody. It's not like the NFL where you have a salary cap and teams are paying whatever. So it's hard to unionize them like the NFL because of that. So you have to kind of do it in a different situation. But I do believe a commission makes absolute sense. Okay, absolute sense in this situation, because I feel like if you go to the New York State Athletic Commission, and this is what I found out from my boy Marco Boxton, shout out to him, it's literally like an office of your average type of people. Like, it's not people that are necessarily in the camera. You can be, in my opinion, you can still be bought off. It's run like the 1900s, So to me, I feel as if you have to have I think Paulie Malignaggi would be a great person to the commission. I think guys like Andre Ward, um, you know, I mean, guys, even trainers or even guys that have been around the sport for this amount of time that actually understand what transpires in boxing. And again, you got to have to me, it's got to be tighter run in regards to the suspensions. That I do agree with Oscar, because at the end of the day, these kids that are dying in boxing, who cares about them? What's the difference between the sanction and the commission? A sanction is pretty much for that particular belt. They pay sanctioning fees and shit like that. And the sanctioning situation as well can be paid. Let's be honest. Edgar Berlanga is the number one contender for, I think, the WBA, if I'm not mistaken, to fight Canelo Alvarez. Let's be honest. How in the world is that even possible? Who did he beat? Like, these are things that you can just put somebody in a situation. Hey, here you go. We're invested in this guy. How? That type of stuff has to be policed. And I feel like you can grease certain people in these situations if you have so many different entities operating at the same time with no policing over the top. And I think a commission needs to be put together because, some of the great fighters are going to get overlooked. Why? Because they don't have a big promotional company behind them. And they can be overseen by somebody. Hey, listen, this is Bob over here. We need this guy in there. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you, Paul. But that whether Belongings get destroyed or not, do I believe he deserves that spot? Absolutely not. 100% not. So, in my opinion, I think that these things have to be dealt with the commission, as well as new rules for the commission. New policies need to be created. Who better to create these policies than boxers that have been in this for years? So these guys need better health care. Think about it. I was talking to a boxer, I forgot his name, and he was telling me that the insurance that they carry for these guys, they might as well get their own insurance. They have a better situation. And then that's crazy when these guys are risking their lives every time they step in the ring. So I feel like there's a lot of things that need to be addressed that will not be addressed if the governing bodies aren't created, if they don't put guys like an Andre Ward, even a Julio Cesar Chavez, who's an icon in the situation. This can be an international thing, and this can be a big benefit for boxing, period. It can help the sport grow. Look at the NFL with their commissioner, what he's been able to do. And again, I think these are situations where the commission can definitely step in and help boxing grow to where it should grow. Boxing is a great sport. It was the biggest sport at one time, and we're talking about like I think the 60s and 70s. But it just turned into something that a lot of people continue to critique because of the constant mistakes that are being made by it. I mean, listen, we're talking more about the Ryan and Devin Haney fight controversies than the actual fight or great fights that have been occurring. We have a great fight coming up with July 20th on the Jake Paul card with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. So there's a lot of stuff that's being overlooked because of this drama, and a lot of this stuff has to be nipped in the bud in order to move forward. And and again, Ryan's behavior, it could have been checked by the commission. Hey, listen, we're not going to tolerate this type of stuff. And boxing right now is a helter-skelter situation, and that's where we have to start pretty much policing these things. We got to do something about these kids dying. And I had an interview with Richard Steele. It was on my old channel, which was hacked. I'm not going to say who hacked it, but he's a scumbag. And Richard Steele said the reason for a lot of these deaths in boxing is because of the steps not taken and by these trainers. And I was like, what do you mean? So he tells me, he goes, Richard Steele goes, what happens is these guys will come into the ring being injured. Like, for instance, what's this guy's name? Benavidez came in injured to the fight, just ignored it, right? How can you allow somebody, especially with a head injury, like these guys get concussions in sparring? We've seen some of these sparring videos, right, where these guys are taking fucking shots. I don't care if they are wearing headgear. NFL players wear headgear, and they get concussions all the time. These guys are taking headshots. Some of them are not supposed to be going as hard as they are, but they are. And what happens is they get injured in training, and some of these trainers, because they want to get paid, because they don't want to lose the fight, because there's situations where if this boxer got this opportunity with 2 weeks left, and now he has to weight train, has to do all these things that are going to hurt his body, they show up to the fight not really prepared physically. Okay, he might look like a specimen, but now he's showing up. He might have a brain bruise or something like that, and now they're taking those risks. And what's happening is we're losing boxers. That is absolutely something that needs to be addressed, especially when fighters are dying. That's something that a commission can definitely bring to the table. And when he broke that down to me, Richard Steele, I could not believe that this is how boxing is actually run. Guys are getting concussions. Listen, in the NFL, you get a concussion, you're out like 3 weeks, right? In boxing, you get a concussion, you're taking constant headshots, blows from grown men that can knock you out. And you have a brain bleed, you have all these type of things, and you're still risking your life. This is how we're losing people. So we have to start doing more research, and the commission has to be the people that spearhead the situation, because trainers should be held accountable. There should be investigations as to why this individual, what happened in training camp. Why, so I feel like we're not doing the due diligence in regards to protecting our fighters. And I think a commission would be a great idea. And I think Oscar De La Hoya hit it on the nose. And I'm going to play that interview one more time. Well, actually, his Instagram blog. I'm going to play it one more time because I think it was really good. If you really listen to it, I'm going to play it one more time.
All right, guys, everybody talked about Ryan Garcia. Now it's Papi's turn. So, first of all, I don't condone PEDs whatsoever, period. But let's talk about the inconsistencies, the penalties, the millions of dollars.
Now, think about what he just said. He doesn't condone PEDs. He doesn't actually even deny that Ryan Garcia took the PEDs. I want you guys to actually think about what he's saying, right? But that's the same. But check it out. Keep going.
Dollars. I do not understand it. We should have a commission, okay, that oversees everything, every state, because Canelo Alvarez gets popped in a different state, gets 6 months. Shane Mosley gets popped and gets 0. So you're telling me that Ryan Garcia gets a year and millions of dollars? That is not right. Let's talk about.
So he says that about it not being right. I agree. It's very inconsistent. And I feel like Oscar got something with what he's saying, but it's deeper than just the millions of dollars. You got to protect these fighters. You have to protect them. I'm just being honest, but it's very interesting.
Devin Haney now. Devin Haney, you're pathetic. You're dancing around in the bowling alley because you got your decision reversed. Nobody's gonna forget.
That is 100% facts. And when he said about Devin Haney dancing around, listen, guys, if you guys believe any of that, you're bugging. He's not happy. This guy is distraught. I don't believe he's mentally capable or mentally ready to come back to the sport. And that's another thing that the commission could do. Guys, like these guys are taking. There's a difference between losing a game of basketball or football and then getting beat to the bloody pulp in boxing. Your pride is crazy, especially, and I don't like to play the race situation, but with a lot of these black boxers, they have this Floyd Mayweather mentality to where, and this is just the public, how they see them. If they lose, they're nothing. They get that one loss is nothing. And that it doesn't happen really to the Latino community or the Filipino community or these other fighters that come out of Ukraine. People still love Lomachenko. They still love Canelo with losses, love Manny Pacquiao with losses. A lot of these guys believe that if they don't, you know what I'm saying, they take the L, it's over. That's why we don't see Gervonta Davis fighting the big fight. So boxing's mentality has to change. And again, I think the commission could definitely do a lot with that.
About that beating you took. Oh, and let's not forget, you're accusing me of not paying you? Bro, you just do not sell. That's the bottom line. You can audit my company anytime you want. I pay every fighter, and I'm pretty sure you.
And again, Oscar brings up Dela Haney with the deflection of. These are a lot of things, again, that a commission can definitely be involved in, especially with, the money aspects of it. Yes, there should be an audit. If this man feels like he didn't get what he got, everything should be to the T. And I think a commission, listen, if an NFL team is doing something where it looks fishy, right? Like the commission steps in. Well, let's investigate this situation. Do you believe that Oscar would like to be investigated? Do you think Devin Haney wants to be investigated in these situations? Owners don't want their books to be cracked open. So the threat of a commission being able to legally actually open your books and investigate these situations, I think, is enough to where we can get straighter business and better business. So I'm 100% with a commission simply because it would bring some type of authority to actually deal with these situations. My man Hype Man says 100% Canelo took a chance of moving up in weight and lost. Still got love from even losing to Mayweather. He took the L and came back dogging fights left and right. Caleb Plant is the same. 100%. And listen, and that's the thing too. Like, I mean, in regards to what we were talking about before, the black fighter doesn't necessarily get that. They have the Mayweather thing. Caleb Plant's not black. He's white. People still love him. He's a badass white boy. He don't take no shit. Yeah, he took loss, took a Benavides, whatever, but still, they want to see him. Errol Spence is arguably one of the best fighters of our generation. Takes a loss to Bud Crawford in the fashion that he takes, and his stock is down. Adrian Broner takes a big loss. His stock is down. Guys are avoiding each other, and I think a commission can really help and step in and actually help these situations out. Maybe not that necessarily, but I think that would lead to us getting the things that we want. And that's the problem with boxing. We're not getting the fights that we want. And that's why you do got to take your hat off to Devin Haney. People can say whatever they want in regards to him, but he was looking for the big fights. He was doing it. And that's why I say, like, now him not getting the opportunity because of what transpired with the PEDs and whatever, it's just a whole mess that doesn't need to be drug out like that. And I think a commission could have nipped this in the bud when it eventually came out that Ryan had tested positive for PEDs. The fact that it took them 2 months to deliberate and come up with a decision, to me, shows corruption in this situation. And I think a commission could step in and there could be a set of rules to where, okay, this is what happens if you do this or that or this and that. And I definitely 1,000% agree with Oscar De La Hoya. A commission needs to be put in place. On that note, I'm going to let it rock out. check out this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification buttons. I'm going to continue to do things like that. If y'all want me to speak on specific things, please do leave the comments in there, suggestions or whatever, and I'm here. It's your boy Norbs. Here's the 10A podcast, and we are out.